Hornets lead by 8. Let's take a quick break now, and then it's on to the second quarter after this.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
We so hope you enjoyed our first half. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith. This is the halftime report. We saw Kemba Walker lighting it up in the first half. He had 14 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. Kenny, let's get your take on Charlotte.
Well, they've gotten to the line tonight a lot. Basically, they're saying, I'm going to take it to you, and the only way you can stop me is to foul me. But here's the thing. If you're afraid to sacrifice your body, you'll never pick up a lot of free throws. So great job in the first half.
And over to the big fella, your thoughts on the Pelicans.
Well, those second chance points are huge, and they only came because of their effort. Their work on the offensive glass is what's keeping them in the game. They definitely should try to continue to stay tough on the glass. It's been key so far.
That's it for halftime, as the second half is just about to get underway.
At 14, they've been putting on a clinic in the paint. Shots are falling with regularity, and they are pounding it down low. And we've got more NBA action on 2K Sports coming your way after this break.
Objectives are tonight.
Yeah, get everyone on the same page and pointed in the right direction.
And now we get the chance to present our Jordan Player of the Game, Kemba Walker.
And guys, he's been about as close to perfection as you can be. The intensity he's played with has been amazing. Just no let up. And as fired up as he's been, he's never let his emotions get out of control.
He doesn't take over games like this very much, but it's always possible. And when he does, here at home, these fans love it. This is Kevin Harlan along with our 2K Sports crew. And we'll see you next time.
For one team and a heartbreaker for the other.
Oh, that's the type of clutch player he sees himself as. Boy, can he deliver.
At the end of one, a closely contested game so far. Pistons lead by 3. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back in just a moment.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello, folks. Welcome back. Ernie Johnson here with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. This is the halftime show on 2K Sports. It was a closely contested first quarter for Detroit. At the end of the period, they held a 3-point lead. And guys, for the Pistons, taking a look at the Pistons, Shaq, what did you think?
Well, Kenny should appreciate this. I love the ball movement. They were in sync as a unit, and their assist numbers were impressive. Anytime you get 5 players working together like that instead of one guy doing it alone, it's always going to be a boost. That's the primary reason they're in control of the game.
And Kenny, let's get your input on the Jazz.
Well, one problem I see is that they're too timid on the boards. When you start to fall behind in the game, you need to become more aggressive on the offensive glass and the defensive glass.
And that is just about going to wrap it up as the second half is moments away. Down to Kevin Harlan and the rest of the crew.
We'll make it tough to come back. Pistons ahead, up by 10. And right after this, we'll bring you the start of the final quarter right here on 2K Sports. For now, for Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, and the rest of our terrific crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. So long, everyone. And the second quarter about to get started. We'll be back in just a moment.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
We so hope you enjoyed our first half. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith. This is the halftime report. We saw Miles Turner lighting it up in the first half. He had 12 points and 5 rebounds. And Shaq, what did you see out there from the Pacers?
Well, what's really shifted the game in their favor has been their rebounding. They got a good edge on the boards, and that's a product of their hard work. All 5 guys been battling, putting everything they have to fight on the glass. That needs to remain the focus for 2 more quarters if they want to hang on to that lead.
Kenny, your take on Phoenix.
It looked like they were shooting threes blindfolded. Sometimes you could get cold, but that was atrocious. It was scary. But they also looked scattered out there, and I think that disorganization was the main issue for them missing those shots. They need to establish themselves better into a better rhythm in the second half and avoid relying so heavily on the three-point shot.
And that will conclude our halftime presentation. We take you back to Kevin Harlan for the second half.
Pacers riding high with a 23-point lead heading into the break. They have made it very tough to get a shot off against them. Their defense has been stifling. Back to the action after this word. Now let's present our Jordan Player of the Game, Miles Turner.
And as you'd expect, he's done most of his damage in that low block. I mean, that was the game plan, to get it to him in the paint and just let him go to work. And boy, has the big fella delivered. He has just killed them down low.
He doesn't take over games like this very much, but it's always possible. And when he does, Brent Barry, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan along with our 2K Sports crew, thanking you for tuning in. See you later. Quarter will get underway just after this short break.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, everybody. It's the halftime show on 2K Sports. Ernie Johnson here with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. Philadelphia finds themselves ahead after 2 quarters. They are way out in front, leading by 17. Kenny, some perspective, please.
Well, shooters were popping open right and left. Exceptional ball movement. Guys racing off screens, spotting up, knocking down shots. That's the way you play basketball unselfishly, and it was superb, and they exploited all the weaknesses of the defense.
How about you, Shaq? What did you think about Chicago?
Well, they got a ton of issues to work out. Allow way too high a percentage to be shot against them. Not really showing any energy on defense. No discipline. Look at their faces, Ernie. Do they even want to be here?
And that will conclude our halftime presentation. We take you back to Kevin Harlan for the second half.
To an 11-point cushion as we get ready to take a break. They're playing a bruising game inside, and it's working for them. We'll take a quick break and then back to the action here. Got a moment for our Jordan Player of the Game, Ben Simmons.
And in terms of his shooting, this has been one of the more accurate performances you'll ever see. I mean, he's been in constant motion, creating a lot of good looks for himself. But still, even when you're wide open, you expect to miss some of the time. That has not been the case here tonight. This guy has made everything.
This is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. See you next time.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey, folks, welcome back. Ernie Johnson alongside the Jet. That's Kenny Smith. The Diesel, that's Shaquille O'Neal. A lot of big-time action so far in this one. A competitive matchup for Atlanta in the first quarter. They were unable to ever build a big lead in the first period, with 3 points being their largest cushion. If you look at the second quarter scoring, they had a small edge. They really hung tough as we got close to halftime. Kenny, what was your take on Atlanta?
Well, there was a big spark from the bench in the first half. Sometimes you're hoping for your reserves to come in and just hold court, but they didn't do that. They actually got better.
Shaq, what was your takeaway on Toronto?
Well, those second chance points are huge, and they only came because of their effort. Their work on the offensive glass is what's keeping them in the game. They definitely should try to continue to stay tough on the glass. It's been key so far.
That's it for halftime, as the second half is just about to get underway.
Lead is where it is because they've gotten good shots. A lot of good shots. We've got more in store for you right after this.
Then they need to. Let's get some good position defense going here. That should be the emphasis, and get away from the sloppy fouls.
And now let's present our Jordan Player of the Game, Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, and his performance has been a jaw-dropper. He must have been feeling great coming into the building tonight, because once he hit the court, it was all working for him. He was in a zone.
Coming into this game, he'd been having a tough stretch. We all know that, but not anymore. He's back at his best, and I think it's safe to say that slump is over. Wrap it up, folks. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, and the rest of our terrific crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. We'll see you later.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey, everybody. Ernie Johnson, joined by Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. Welcome to the NBA Halftime Show on 2K Sports.
Been working out.
The first quarter didn't play out the way Dallas had hoped. We saw them with a striking lack of effort on the defensive end. They allowed an opposing field goal percentage of 60%. The second quarter was quite exciting as they willed themselves completely out of the hole on a comeback mission and now lead by 1. And Kenny, what are your thoughts on how Dallas played?
Well, I like their effort on the boards, because a game could come down to just a few key possessions, and extra rebounds can give you those extra possessions if you work at it.
Shaq, how'd you think the Rockets were playing?
What impressed me the most was the effort they put into the offensive glass. The second chance points really added up for them. Fighting through box outs, battling for position, they own the offensive boards.
That's it for halftime, as the second half is just about to get underway.
Scoring has been tremendous, and they are shooting lights out with very high accuracy. We'll take a quick break and then back to the action here. They're trailing by 9. 24 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Now the presentation of our Jordan Player of the Game, Dennis Smith.
As the ringleader of their offense, he has been on his game tonight, spreading the ball around, keeping everyone involved, making sure the offense never gets bogged down. He's just giving them just what they needed at that point guard position.
This is as good a game as we've seen him play. For now. And this crowd, for Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching the NBA on 2K Sports. So long, everyone.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Ernie Johnson here. Got Shaq, got Kenny the Jet Smith. We welcome you back to the halftime show on 2K Sports. We saw LaMarcus Aldridge lighting it up in the first half. He had 12 points, 8 rebounds, and 1 assist. Kenny, what was your take on San Antonio?
Well, it's always a little bit of a challenge playing on the road, but they came in mentally prepared and physically prepared. The energy in the arena was fierce, but they didn't cave in.
Shaq, your take on Memphis?
Well, if you can't shoot the ball, you might want to stop chucking it up. They keep trying the three, but it's not going down. They're relying too much on the three ball, way too much. It's good when it's falling for you, but when it's not, you have to try something else.
That'll do it for now. The second half of action coming right up.
Get the chance to present our Jordan Player of the Game, Marc Gasol.
Well, he's got his field goal percentage in the high 50s, and that says a lot about how well he's been able to kind of exploit the gaps in the defense. His motion, his ability to find open spots on the floor, you can definitely see the difference.
Wrap it up, folks. For Brett Berry, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan along with our 2K Sports crew. We'll see you later.
Just being played on either end.
And so it's Portland, with their lead standing at 6 points here at the end of the quarter. And their three-point shooting has paved the way for them. We've got more in store for you right after this.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello, folks. Welcome back. Ernie Johnson here with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. This is the halftime show on 2K Sports. Damian Lillard has been having a big night. He had 13 points, 3 assists, and 2 rebounds. What'd you think about Portland, Kenny?
Well, they were consistent from downtown. The playmakers found open shooters, and the shooters delivered and knocked down shots on a high level. In some ways, it came down to confidence. We'll see if they have that same swagger in the second half.
Shaq, what'd you think about Minnesota?
What impressed me the most was the effort they put into the offensive glass. The second chance points really added up for them. Fighting through box outs, battling for position, they owned the offensive boards.
And that wraps up halftime as the game is set to get back underway. Let's send it to Kevin Harlan and crew, standing by courtside.
In front, up by 3. And right after this, we'll bring you the start of the final quarter right here on 2K Sports.
To shoot 3, so the only hope is for an alley-oop and an and-one to finish out.
And now let's present our Jordan Player of the Game, Karl Anthony Towns.
Hey guys, no doubt who our pick was going to be. He's made everyone else on the court look like they're playing at half speed. It's been total domination, and you can't help but just sit back and admire that performance.
Tonight, folks, for our broadcast. For Chris Webber, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. So long, everyone.
Shows some serious guts right there.
Oh, man.
Ending this one with a bang.
At the end of one, a closely contested game so far. Celtics out in front, leading by just 2. We'll be back shortly live from Staples Center in downtown Los Angeles.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Ernie Johnson here. Got Shaq, got Kenny the Jet Smith. We welcome you back to the halftime show on 2K Sports. Boston found themselves in a close game in the first. At the end of the period, they held a 2-point lead. In the second quarter, they made it look easy. They played well at both ends of the court, and suddenly they're sitting on a 9-point lead here at halftime. Taking a look at the Celtics, Shaq, what do you think?
Well, they're out in front tonight because of their offensive rebounding. Those second chance buckets came into play in a big way. Those are effort points, momentum builders, salvaging points off the scrap heap. You never heard me say scrap heap before, Ernie. I don't even know what it means. It just sounded good.
And Kenny, let's get your thoughts on the Clippers.
It looked like they were shooting threes blindfolded. Sometimes you could get cold, but that was atrocious. It was scary. But they also looked scattered out there, and I think that disorganization was the main issue for them missing those shots. They need to establish themselves better into a better rhythm in the second half and avoid relying so heavily on the three-point shot.
And that is just about going to wrap it up as the second half is moments away. Down to Kevin Harlan and the rest of the crew.
Got a big advantage in the turnover stats because of their intense defense. We'll take a quick break and then back to the action here.
Turn and shoot. They've got one shot at it here, obviously. It's a make-or-break situation.
A chance now to recognize our Jordan Player of the Game, Avery Bradley.
It's a take-charge brand of basketball he's been playing tonight. His point total tells you all you need to know about just how good he's been. And once he got going, their game plan really became simple. Just get him the ball.
Wraps it up for Greg Anthony, Steve Smith, and David Aldridge. This is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Have a great evening.